Hey guys, it's Brent, and welcome back for day 4 of our special event in the VIP Club on developing your intuition. Today we're going to focus on how to find the right teacher and or system. I know this may seem like a funny topic because you may assume that I would just tell all you guys to go learn theta healing, especially learn it from me. And you know what? I think that's a great solution. But I know some of you guys have backgrounds in other modalities or techniques that you don't want to give up, or you may not be interested in learning theta healing. I think you're crazy, but I'll respect that. And some of you guys just may not be in a place where you don't have the time or the money or the ability to get to a class. And so I encourage you guys, whatever modality you're going to learn, whatever teacher you're going to work with, pick one that's going to be good for you. And so what does that mean? Well, basically, I like to think of all of us as having kind of 3 backgrounds in intuition. Number 1 are people who are well-trained. If you're well-trained, if you know what you're doing, you probably already have a good system or a good technique. Number 2 are people who have dabbled a little bit. You may have some natural ability, maybe you played tarot cards or a Ouija board or something, done a few readings, had some good psychic hits. But if you've never done any serious training, then you are in need of finding a system or a teacher. And lastly are people like me who had never done anything like this. But no matter what your background, I encourage you guys, pick a system, pick a teacher. Of course, I think theta healing is great. Of course, I think I'm a good teacher. I've dedicated a big chunk of my life to learning and mastering this, and not only that, and learning how to communicate it and teach it effectively. And trust me, there's a very different skills. There are plenty of people out there who are great intuitives who can't teach with a darn, and vice versa. And so for those of you guys who are thinking, well, I just use my own system, well, that's a system too. And I would encourage you guys to go find a teacher or a system to learn from, only because you can learn so much and progress so much more quickly when you're leveraging the knowledge and experience of others. I won't force you to, but I think you could get a lot out of it. And so, what does it mean to find a good system for you? Well, I think there's a couple prerequisites for any good system. Number 1 is it can't be too complicated. It can't be too hard. It can't take too long to learn. Why? Because if it is, you won't use it. And if you're not using it, it's worthless. So, if it's too complicated, too hard, too long, not fun, too expensive, find another system. Number 2, there has to be some way to get you to a waking theta brainwave. We're going to cover more about that in a later day, but that's really important, because if you're not getting to theta, nothing's happening. You won't do good intuitive readings. So you need to have some system, some way to get you to theta. That's included in the theta healing training, but we're certainly not the only ones. There's others that can teach you that too. Number 3, you need to learn how to discern and work with the different energies that are out there. There are many, 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 many different sources of information out there that can come to you intuitively. They're not all true. They're not all God. They're not all good for you. It can actually be quite dangerous if you don't know how to discern the difference. Schizophrenics are a good example of people who are highly intuitive but cannot discern the difference between the made-up voices in their head, which are often intuitive channels, right? But they don't understand what's happening and where it comes from, and they can't control it, so they can't tell the difference between that and their internal dialogue and what other people say in the real world around them. And so if you learn how to distinguish and discern those planar energies, very, very valuable. Not something you think you need to know if you've never done this before, but critically important. Number 4, whatever system or process or teacher you use, there should be some way of how you connect and disconnect from others. That's really important, because you need a process of connection to show the universe, at the very least, that you're tuning into this person. And you need a disconnect process at the end. Along with that, you need a way to make sure you don't take on other people's energies when you do readings. Again, I teach all this in theta healing, but you can get this from other places too. You also will need a good technique for grounding. This is really important. If you don't ground, you're probably going to gain a lot of weight in a bad way, because your body will crave things that will naturally ground you. And so any transcendental technique like theta or others that takes you up out of your body and connects you to the heavens to get you into that state to do good intuitive readings also needs a way to get you grounded back into your body at the end. You'll be healthier, you'll feel better, you'll last a lot longer, and be a better reader. And so those are some of the most important things. Personally, I don't really care what teacher or technique you use. Just find something. If you have no other option, go get Viana's book, Theta Healing. It'll tell you how to do theta. I strongly encourage you to find a real teacher too. But you got to find something to get started with. Because once you have a system, once you have a process, then you can start doing exercises, which we're going to start doing very soon. So I'll see you guys back soon in another couple days, and we'll take it from there. Hope you enjoyed this. See you guys soon.